All right, what's up, everybody? What's up, Philly? We're going to start this thing with me telling you what to do, so I apologize to my friend. First thing I want y'all to do is take out your phone. A lot of y'all have it already in your hand. Now raise that phone up. Now raise it up higher. Now ask yourself why you didn't give it 100% the first time. And take a picture of me while it's out. That's the energy that we're going to need, not the first time you rolled your hand. The second time, we need to start that way. That's the energy that's going to help us redefine and rebuild the American dream. The American dream has been lost on us, and the American dream looks a lot different than what we've been sold, what we've been told, and it's time to redefine how that looks. That happens with the support and the action of everybody in this room. Before we get started, I want y'all to do something else. I want you all to clap it up for all of our nominees and our winners of awards tonight. Thank you all for being committed to the American dream and making it possible for so many people, whether you won the award or you were just nominated, or next year you want to see yourself on that screen. Keep up the great work. As I stand before you today, I'm struck with the weight of this moment and the collective wisdom that we shared in this room just today. We've heard powerful insights that have set the stage for the urgent conversation I'm about to drop on y'all right now. Arthur Herman reminded us of our nation's incredible capacity to answer the call in times of crisis, showing how American manufacturing can become the arsenal of democracy during World War II. My good friend Joel Schmitz opened our eyes to the critical opportunities and the challenges in our submarine industrial base, our maritime industrial base. And underlying the vital link between manufacturing and national security. Mr. Foucher painted a vivid picture of our economic landscape, highlighting both the hurdles and the immense potential before us. And David inspired us with lessons in leadership that can turn any ship around. The words echo in this chamber, a symphony of challenges and possibilities, but as I listen, I hear another sound beneath it, the steady rhythmic pulse of American potential waiting to be unleashed. And that's why we're here today. When I had you pull out your phone, I want you all to answer the call. There's a great call for us right now to rise up. We talked about superheroes earlier. Superheroes were regular people that got into a moment and they had to make a decision. Do I fold or do I answer the call? And a lot of times we don't know that we are superheroes until that phone rings. And on the other end, there's a call for action. When we begin to act and we begin to put one foot in front of the other, we start to see how powerful we are. Before we dive deeper, I want to share another quote that's been driving me forward. From the late Nipsey Hussle, the highest human act is to inspire. Any Nipsey fans in here? Thought I'd be the only one. Good job. The highest human act is to inspire, and that's what we're here to do today. Not with our words, not with cool key phrases, not with dope chains like this, but with action, with clear, actionable opportunities for you all to take right now. Now you might be wondering, how did a guy like me end up at this podium? Well, let me take you back. Picture this young man barely out of his teens, a two-time felon with a child on his way. Yes, I said that right. A two-time felon and a father at 15. I was a father before I was a man. I didn't know my father, and I had to force myself and figure out how to become a father before I was a man. I couldn't legally drink, but I had the responsibility of another person and a family. I probably was still going through puberty. I don't even know how this happened. Picture this young man standing on a street corner with no hope, no future, no belief that he could ever amount to anything. Obviously, that young man was me. But fate, or perhaps the enduring promise of the American dream, had other plans. Somewhere, someone like you all answered a call. They opened a door that I didn't even know existed. That door led to the career and the pathway and the man that you see before you right now. They showed me that I could build more than just products, and through products, I could build a future for myself and for my family, but more importantly, for my community. That, my friends, is the power of manufacturing. It's not just about assembly lines, it's not just about production quotas, it's about assembling lives and producing hope. Couldn't think of anything to rhyme with quota. It's about taking the raw materials of human potential and forging them into the backbone of our nation's prosperity and security. But today, as we've heard from our speakers, we do face a crisis. By 2030, we could have 2.1 million unfilled manufacturing jobs. Our defense industrial base, as Joel Schmitz pointed out, is strained but ready to be strengthened. Communities that once thrived on the rhythm of factory whistles are now hollow shells of their former selves. These are not just statistics. They're real stories of real people. They're the stories of the veteran searching for purpose. They're the stories of the single parent working tirelessly 3 jobs that don't pay ends meet. They're the recent graduate drowning in debt and uncertainty. They're the struggles of our people. They're our struggles, not just the people that are by themselves. Their potential is America's potential. Here's the truth we need to face. Manufacturing is not just another sector of the economy. As Arthur Herman showed us, it's the backbone of our nation's strength and innovation. It's the foundation of our national security and the beating heart of that American dream. Think about this for a minute. Right now, as we sit here in our comfort, there are brave men and women overseas fighting to ensure that we are here safely protected. They're making sacrifices for us. They're making sacrifices so that we can go home after this and love on our family. They're making sacrifices so we can sleep at night and not be woken by fear or terror or the sound of bombs and guns going off. But here's where you come in. Here's where we all come in. You can be a part of making sure those heroes make it back home to their families too. How do we do this? We answer the call. When you step up to work in or support our manufacturing sector, you're not just taking a job or making a business decision. You're crafting the parts that keep our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines safe. You're building the equipment that helps them complete their missions and come home. You're strengthening the industrial base that supports our entire country and national defense. But it goes beyond that. By answering this call, you're also rebuilding the very foundation of that American dream. You're creating jobs that support the families. You're revitalizing communities. You're driving innovation that keeps the nation at the forefront of global progress. So what does this look like in practice? Sounds good. We pulled our phones out. Hopefully you all took pictures of me. If you haven't, take another one. But what does this look like in practice? Let's talk about the things that we learned today. Everybody plays a part. There's an ecosystem here, and every single person, whether you fall into these categories or you know somebody that does, will change the very fabric of what we do as Americans in American manufacturing and rebuild that American dream. To our business leaders, your duty is to raise your hand. Where are my business leaders at? That's all we got? Business leaders, raise your hands. Come on, y'all. Give them a clap. Give them a clap. Shout out to the business leaders. Your duty is to invest in your workforce and in advanced technologies. As David taught us, it's about creating an environment where everyone can be that leader, where innovation can flourish at every level as well as communication. Commit to an apprentice program. Connect with the Workforce Training Center. Don't just raise your hand this high, raise your hand as high as you can go. Make real goals. 5% of your workforce is apprentice within the next 2 years. Partner with local schools and workforce training centers to make it happen. This is not about just filling jobs or putting a body in front of your machines. It's about building the future of your company and our nation. To those seeking a new pathway, job seekers, people that feel stuck in their positions, your duty is to seriously consider a career in manufacturing. The economic outlook Mr. Faucher presented with us shows a tremendous opportunity here. Enroll in the manufacturing program. Tell your friends about what you're doing. Be vocal. Make a video. Put it on TikTok. Be seen today, not tomorrow, not next week. We talking right now. Let me give you a concrete example. The Jane Addams Resource Corporation, or JARC, they offer hands-on CNC machining, training, welding, and other in-demand manufacturing skills. The graduates have up to 3 job offers by the time they graduate certified. Not only that, the graduates see an average 15% increase in hourly wages after completing the program. We're not just changing careers, we are changing lives. Educators, we got any educators in the building? Hey, y'all. Your duty is to prepare the next generation. You are the architects for the manufacturing leaders of tomorrow. We've learned today that these aren't your grandfather's factory jobs. They're high tech, they're high skill, and they're positions that require a new kind of thinking and a new kind of preparation. Bringing manufacturing into your classroom, organizing field trips to local factories, meeting people in this building and setting that up shows you, or that's your call. Show them that manufacturing is a real path to prosperity, to innovation, to problem solving, to building a better world for not just themselves, but everybody in it. Policymakers, I don't want to see your hands. No, I'm just joking. You've got a call to answer as well. We need your help. We cannot do this without you all being active, being intentional, and being innovative. Your duty and your call is to create the environment where manufacturing can really thrive. Push for increased funding and support for workforce training centers. Fight for tax incentives for companies that invest in workforce development and advanced manufacturing technologies. As we've seen in our economic discussion earlier, these are not handouts. These are investments. I challenge you to invest in your community, invest in the people, and invest in the industry. These are not investments in just your local area. These are investments in our national security and economic future. Veterans, let me hear it one time for the vets. They deserve more than that. Give me more for the vets. We talked a little bit about my past, and I didn't mention how important the veterans and the military are to me. I never got to serve. I never did serve. I served in the street army. And unfortunately, I got felonies on my report card, and I couldn't do that, right? So with those F's on my report card, I had to make a quick choice. I didn't have any translatable or transferable skills that I knew about. Can't put that on a resume. I had felonies, so I was already below where I needed to be. And I was pretty much fighting Mike Tyson with one hand behind my back and my eyes closed. It felt like I was drowning. I didn't want to go back to the streets, but I had a kid to feed, and he looked up to me as somebody that he needed to follow. I was his protector, his provider. The way that I was protecting and providing, I knew that that wasn't for me anymore. I wanted more. My son deserved more. I felt like I deserved more, and I felt like the world not necessarily owed me something, but I had a part to play in this. I just couldn't figure it out. I woke up every day with excitement, with fervor for the day, and then quickly looked in the mirror and realized I had nothing to do. I had no idea of what to do or how to do it. In our hood, there's only a couple of decisions that you can make if you don't go to college or you don't find your career path. It's either you enroll in the streets, like I did, that ends in 2 ways guaranteed, jail or a coffin. The next thing you can do is enlist. So I went backwards. I went to the streets, got tired of how life was, and before I called it quits, I went down to the recruiting office. I couldn't even get into the armed forces. I tried them all. My felony was keeping me away from protecting my country and, in my mind, feeding my kids. That was my last straw. And finally, I swallowed my pride. I put my ego aside, and I said, hey, anybody that's willing to listen, I want a job, please. I don't want to make money illegally anymore. I want to sleep well at night. I don't want to look over my shoulder and look at faces and figure out who's trying to get me. That's not the life I was here to live. That's not a life that anybody's supposed to live. A gentleman that looked nothing like me, that didn't come from where I came from, his name is Donnie Ogle, reached out to me and he said, come in. I got an opportunity for you, and I think you might like it. That's all I needed to hear. I went into a machine shop that day, first time ever in my life. Smelled really bad, it was hot in there, but it smelled like opportunity. He gave me a test, and on one side there was calipers and micrometers and different tools that you use as a machinist. And it was like, what is this reading? What is this? What is this tool? Did my best, but I failed every question. On the backside, however, there were measurements. 3/4, 0.100 thou, 1/8. If you can tell, I did really good on that one. I knew what those were from my past job. So he said, son, you're definitely not a machinist, and that's what I was hiring for. But I got a possibility for you. You did so well with the measurements that I'm going to put you on the saw. Didn't know what that meant. I just knew that I just got hired, though. So I said, put me on that saw. I'm going to be the best saw guy you've ever seen in your life. He believed in me. He said, and if you want to be a machinist, I'll make one out of you if you come every day. You show up every day, I'll make you a machinist if that's what you want. And I came. I came that night, as a matter of fact, to start. First time in life I had ever been not only on time for something, but 15 minutes early. I couldn't sit in my house knowing that this opportunity was right there. I couldn't get there fast enough. When I finally got there, I was like, okay, so what am I gonna be doing? And he said, take this rag, take this mop, clean every machine in here, and then we'll figure out the saw. So that wasn't in the job description though, but I needed it, so I took it anyway. I cleaned those machines. You could eat off the floor. I did the best that I've ever done. Not because he told me to, but because I believed that he believed that I could do it, and I didn't want to let him down. Eventually, I did get onto that saw. And as I'm on the saw, I'm cutting different slugs of metal. We made non-contact bearing isolators. Didn't know what any of those words meant, especially not in a sentence together. And I asked, I said, what are these things, and what do you use them for? Donnie Ogle said, well, what we make helps things rotate. But the thing about our patent is these never go out because they are non-contact. They don't touch. So if you can think of the applications we use them in, they're in oil pumps. They're in, Maytag was one of our customers for washing machines. And then he said, they're also in turbine engines for jets. And I said, what? And right then, I knew what my purpose was. I had to be here, and I had to make the best part and the best cut. I wasn't even making the parts yet. But if I don't cut this metal as good as I can and get it to these machinists, somebody's not safe. Not only is somebody not safe, but I don't want anybody else to do this job because I don't believe anybody's gonna do it like I'm doing it. I cut that metal like I got paid $1 million per cut. And I believed in it. I believed in myself, and I believed in the product that we were making, and even more importantly, I believed that I was a part of the American dream. I finally woke up every day with a purpose. And if you guys can see, if you guys follow me online, or you guys can see my presentations, they're always red, white, and blue. My favorite colors. I believe that when I woke up every day, I had a mission, and my mission was bigger than myself and bigger than anything around me. Quickly, I got to move up, reluctantly, but they put a little money in front of my face and some incentives, so I said, okay. And I became a manual machinist. After I became a manual machinist, they said, you know what, you're really good at this. Do you like what you're doing now that you're learning? And I said, yeah, I want to learn those machines over there, which were the CNCs, and they said, we're gonna teach you. And not only are we gonna teach you, if you like what you're doing, we'll pay for you to go to school. So now that life that had no purpose, that life that had no vision, the life that was devoured of the American dream, I started seeing in color again. I had my mission ahead of me. I had something to live for, and more importantly, I would come home every day tired, but with my head high. When I used to put on my uniform to go to work, I put it on like I put this suit on. Not for myself, but for my son. When I'm 20 years old, he's 5 years old, and he's looking at me. And instead of looking at me like a gangster or a thug or someone to be scared of, he's proud. My son smiled when he saw me putting that uniform on, when he saw me going to work every day, coming back home every day. My kids eventually started going to a better school. We moved into a better neighborhood. And that's the American dream. My son now is in his second year at University of Memphis Engineering School on a full ride. That's the American dream that you all have the duty to restore, that we all have the duty to restore. So back to my veterans. Veterans, your duty, your call to answer is to bring those leadership skills, that work ethic, and everything that they built in you and you built in yourself to the manufacturing sector. As we learned from our discussion on the defense industrial base, your expertise is crucial. Reach out to your local manufacturing association, workforce training center, or other, and they have many programs specifically designed to help you transition into manufacturing careers. I was a teacher for 4 years at Rankin Technical College in St. Louis. We're a nonprofit, private technical college. We like to call ourselves the Harvard of the associate's degrees. We offer bachelor's degrees as well, but a lot of people went right to work. And while I was teaching there, my most dedicated students that the industry would come scoop up weren't the kids with all the energy. It was the people that were using the GI Bill, the people that were coming back to get a certificate, to get a job, and using the skills that they had or had learned. They understood that they weren't just getting a great worker, but they were getting a person that could lead a team. They were getting a person who could work under fire, under pressure. And that's what manufacturers need. Your skills are coveted. We want you here. Students, I don't know if you guys see this little badge I got on here, but there's a robotics team outside. First Robotics is important. First Robotics is not just important for those kids, but it's more important for you as a manufacturer. The reason it's important is because if we wait until we've got barriers in life, if we wait until we don't know what to do, it could be too late. Let's put these opportunities and these careers in front of kids early so they have the opportunity to know that this is not only an option, but it's a viable one. Right now, kids have gone through way more things than we had gone through at their ages. Coronavirus, recessions, buildings closing that were at one point structures of our whole world. They live in chaos, uncertainty. 4-year college doesn't look as much as the American dream as it used to. We've got to give them more options. And when they have options or they're exercising options, we've got to support them. If you have not yet, I encourage you to introduce yourself, shake the hands of, and ask a question to every kid on that robotics team out there. They're your future leaders. They're your future engineers. They're your future innovators in your factory. They're going to be the people that take your business not to be successful in the next 10 years, but the next 50. Tune in now. Connect now. If you have a student in your life, or you know a student, help them join or start a robotics club. Help them join or start a manufacturing club. Offer your mentorship. Offer your guidance. Sometimes just be in the room. Participate in manufacturing day events. Start one yourself. Teach the kids to talk to their guidance counselors and ask questions about manufacturing. What we find is the guidance counselors come from different generations. They remember manufacturing when Pop was doing it, and Pop came home every day with a back like this and a couple of nubs, and he said, "Don't you ever do this job again in your life." This ain't Pop's manufacturing. We've got to educate the guidance counselors. We've got to educate the teachers. We have to show them that our industry is not the industry of the past. Once we show them that, they'll be better at identifying students, people that have the tools to be successful in our field and supporting them through it. To the students outside, be curious, be engaged, be part of building the future. Don't believe you can. Know that you will. You're the innovators who will drive the next wave of American manufacturing excellence. Community leaders. Your duty is to support local manufacturers. You've got to answer the call. You've got to create the connections between the schools, the community, the factories, and to celebrate the makers and innovators that are in your community now. I know I kind of look like a rapper, but those are not our community champions. Tell them about the real superhero that lives down the street that runs a CNC machine. Tell them about the real superhero that lives up the block that's welding. Tell them about the real superheroes that are making the things that keep us safe and enjoying the life that we live. Those are who we need to look up to. Those are the people we need to prop up, and those are who our community needs to see being lifted and exalted so they can be like them themselves. What does this look like? Organize a Made in Our Town campaign. Create networking events like this that connect manufacturers with the schools, with the community. Connect with job seekers and other local businesses. Let's show them the options that they have. As we've seen in our economic discussion earlier, a thriving manufacturing sector is going to be the cornerstone of community revitalization. Now, I didn't serve, so I don't know if this is going to hit the same way. And you tell me if I do, all right. These are your marching orders. I got the thumbs up. These are your marching orders. These are not just suggestions. We do not have the luxury of raising our hand this high anymore. Those days are over. When we only did this much, and we knew that we could do this much, and we didn't stretch ourselves to do this much, we left ourselves in the position that we're in today. Let me remind you, 2.1 million open jobs by 2030. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking. Drew, this really sounds all good, and you look great up there presenting it. But can one person really make that big of a difference? Let me tell you something. Every single great human act, great American endeavor, from the Revolutionary War to the space race, started when an individual answered the call. When a person, just like yourself, picked up and said, yes, I will step up. When they said, yes, I will do my part. Not for myself, but for the greater good. I want y'all to imagine a future where American factories are humming with activity again, where innovation is driving new products and processes, where communities are thriving because of the good jobs and the good people that manufacturing provides. Imagine our future where our military has the equipment it needs as soon as it needs it, produced by a robust and resilient group of people in the domestic supply chain. Imagine a future where Made in America is once again the global standard for quality and innovation. I'm here to tell you that this future is definitely in our grasp. We're right here. But it'll only become a reality if we all, every single one of us, answer that call and step up to the plate to do our duty. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring this thing home. We stand at the crossroads in our nation's history. The call we're hearing today isn't just about revitalizing an industry. It's about rebuilding a nation and redefining and strengthening the American dream. This is about more than just economics, community building, and cool catchphrases. This is about duty. This is about patriotism. It's about being part of something bigger than ourselves. So I ask you one final time, will we answer the call? Will you answer the call? Will you stand up and say, yes, I will do my part in rebuilding American manufacturing? Will you commit here and now to taking action? whether that's considering a career in manufacturing, supporting a career in manufacturing, supporting workforce development programs to get more people into manufacturing, or pushing for policies that strengthen our industrial base. Will you join me in ensuring that Made in America once again becomes a symbol of quality, of innovation, and of national pride? Will you answer the call to rebuild this American dream? The time for hesitation is over. I welcome you all to the time of action. Our nation is calling, our communities are calling, and our futures are calling. So remember this. Someone's out there right now fighting to ensure we enjoy this safe and free life, that we can go home to our families, sleep at night, and know that we're all safe and we're going to wake up in the morning. You are a part of that. You're a part of making the parts that keep them safe and make it back home to their families as well. This is our moment. This is our mission. This is our chance to rewrite the chapter in American history, a chapter where every citizen has the opportunity to contribute to our nation's growth and share in this success. The work will be hard, the road will be long, but I promise you this, the journey is going to be worth it. For in rebuilding American manufacturing, we're going to do more than just make products. We're going to make progress. We're going to make opportunities, and we're going to rebuild that American dream. Forgot I had it. As Nipsey said, the highest human act is to inspire. So today, let's inspire a nation to believe in the power of American manufacturing once again. Let's inspire our neighbors and our community members to believe and know that the American dream is still real. Let's inspire a new generation to see the dignity and opportunity in creating, building, and innovating. Let's inspire each other to answer the call and build a brighter future for all. Will you answer the call? So I ask you one more time, take out your phone. Thank you, and God bless America.